Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, students. So today we'll be learning English. So I'll be continuing a lesson that I have started in my previous class, that is the wonderful world of chess. In my previous class I taught you the history of this chess. It is said that this chess is a gift from India to the rest of the world. It is said that the chess was invented by the Queen Mandokali, who is the wife of King Ravana, but one of the scholars says that no, it is discovered by a great scholar from the northeast India. At those times, this chess was called as Chaturanga, and it was played among the people, among the kings. So this was the little invention that we studied in our previous class. Now it is also said that this inventor was ordered by the ruler to ask for a reward for his invention. He requested the king to give him 1 grain of rice for the first square, 2 for the second one, and 4 for the third one, and so on, doubling the number of the grains continuously up to the 64th square. Everybody thought he was fool. But the royal accountants announced that the quality of the rice that should be given to the inventor, everyone was awestruck. The figure was the gigantic, and no one had ever heard about such enormous number. It was some 18,446, 774, 073 709 551 615. The accountants told the king that it could not be paid even with all the rice available on the earth. What a number! If you want an idea of how big this number is, imagine you have this much money, then you spend 1 crore rupees every second of your life. It takes approximately 60,000 years to spend all of the money. Now, this scholar from the northwest India has invented the chess. So what he did, he took this chess, Chaturanga, to the king. So the king asked him to ask for a reward for his invention. So the man, what he asked 1 grain of rice for 1 gram of rice for the first square, and 2 for the second, and such that we have to double the number of rice for each square. So until we reach the 64th square, first everyone thought he was fool, but later the accountants announced it was a huge, enormous number, and no one has heard about this number. You can see the number over here. So this number is a huge number, and none has earned this. Now the accountant said that to the king that if we pay this could not be paid. This could not be paid even with all the rice available on the earth. Now what a number he has said. Now if you want to imagine how big is this number, just imagine you have this amount of money in your bank account, and you are going to spend like 1 crore rupees every second. 1 crore rupees every second of your life, and it will take around 60,000 years to spend all this money. Now we will be learning about the rules of the game. Just like any other game, chess is also governed by rules. The pieces of the chessmen, like the rook, the knight, and the bishop, move on the board in a quite restricted way. The movement of each piece is important because if a piece can move to square, it can capture the piece in that square, whoever it may be. So as I said this chess has 3 important pieces of the queen and the king and the pawns. So the pieces of the chess are queen, king, knight, rook, bishops, and pawns. Everyone has a quite restricted way to move on the board. Now we are studying why they have a restricted way, because if they move in a square, they could capture the opponent piece. In that square. Now, the Queen Raju and the Queen Mantri can move in any direction. Nevertheless, the king cannot go beyond one square, whereas the queen has no such restrictions. So the king can go and the queen can go in any directions, but the king can only move one box, whereas the queen has no restrictions. Now, the bishop, the sakhtu, that is camel, and the rook, enugu, that is your elephant, can move to any square provided in its own path. The bishop goes diagonally, whereas the rooks go straight. Now, the bishop, that is camel, that is sakhtu, that is can go diagonally, whereas your rook, that is elephant, it can go straight. The knight Gurram and the pawn Bantu are very special in their own ways. The knight is the only piece that can jump over other pieces. He goes square forward or backward, and one square sidewards, to the left, to the right. The pawn, like a brave soldier, marches only forward when it starts from the second row. It has option of going one square or two square forwards. However, after the first move, it can move only one square forward. The pawn has special move. It can go one square diagonally when captures on his opponent's men. Even if it is mighty the king, the pawn has another speciality. It is the only piece that can have promotion to any rank. This is possible when it reaches to any square on the first row of the opponent. Now the knight Gurram, that is your horse, and the pawn, the soldier, has their own specialities. Now this knight can move in L shape, and it can jump over any piece possible, whereas the pawn, which marches forward like a proud soldier, always marches forward, and it can only take one step after its first move, and it can capture even the king, even the king, and it has very special place in the chess board. A player marches her chessmen and tries to capture the opponent's king. If she does that, she calls out checkmate and wins the game. It sounds simple, but it is very complicated. Do you know how many ways are there to do it? Mathematicians say around 10 to the power of 120 unique ways games are possible to chase. Compare this jumbo number with the earlier number, that is 2 to the power of 64 minus 1. How big is this? They are even the same electrons in the universe. Now the player, what does he do? He marches his chessmen and he wants to capture the opponent king. And when someone does it, that move is called as checkmate. Now, though it sounds simple, but it is very, very complicated, and there are many ways to win a particular chess game. But the scientist says that there are around 10 to the power of 120 games. That is, you can multiply 10 120 times. Whatever will be the answer, those many ways are to win a chess game. So this is that big. So now, competitions and governing bodies. Competitions and governing bodies. Each district and state has a chess associations with conduct training camps and tournaments. The state associations are affiliated to All India Chess Federations, which is turned in affiliated to World Chess Federation. It is called FITE. It acts the governing body of the international chess competition. It gives a rating to every player in the world depending upon the number of games won, drawn or lost. The greater the rating, the better the player. If you are on the lookout, you will find many invitation tournaments conducted at school, village, mandal, district and state level. You can rise to the ranks of the international grandmaster or simply grandmaster, as it is used nowadays, by using more and more games by becoming a candidate master. Then FIT master, then a international master. Now, how is this chess game played? This chess game has many associations. Every district, every state has its own associations which are affiliated to All India Chess Federation, and this in return is affiliated to World Chess Federation. Now, if you win if you want to participate and if you are interested in chess games, you need to participate in these games and you need to win as many as games possible, so that you could be considered as a grandmaster and your rank gets higher and higher. Once you are master, then grandmaster, then world grandmaster, then international master, and henceforth your level or honorary gets increased by the number of games you win. Now, the benefits of the game. What are the benefits of the chess game we are going to learn? The benefits of playing chess are innumerable. Some says it refreshes their mind, while others says it improves their memory, concentration and logical thinking. In fact, some experiments have proved that it does all those things. Some chess involves a number of calculations. It increases our mathematical abilities and problem solving skills. That is why it is taught as a school subjects in as many as 30 centuries, including countries including Venezuela, Ireland, Russia. So what are you waiting for? Start playing chess right away. So what are the game's benefits of the chess? So the chess benefits of chess are innumerable. They increase your memory, they increase your concentration, they increase your logical thinking. Logical thinking means when you think out of the box, when you think without any perception or having any effect or influence of things. So that is called your, and not only this, but it involves a lot of mathematical calculation, and henceforth this improves your mathematical abilities and problem solving skills. And there are around 30 countries including Venezuela, Ireland and Russia that teaches chess as its own subject. Now this chess has its own benefits, chess has its own honors, and chess is a game that came from history, so it has its own benefits. So we have to play chess, or chess can be a part of our life either as a pastime. So hopefully you have understood the benefits, importance of the chess. I'll see you in the next class. Allah Hafiz students.